We're here with Dr. Sunshine at the Head to Toe Women's Expo. And tell me a little bit about what you're doing here.
So what we're doing here is we have a lot of women from all over. We've got the athletes coming in from the 5K and the 10K this morning, and the breast cancer run, and there's all sorts of other vendors that are catering towards women, but heart disease is the number one killer of women in the U.S. currently, and so we feel like this is a great venue to get the name out about the test that we're offering. And the test, the Aviir is the lab that is doing this test, and it's a brand new technology. It just came out in February, and it's actually taking our ability to check for heart disease one step further. So not only are we checking for cholesterol and the good cholesterols and the bad cholesterols and the triglycerides, but we're also able to check for the inflammation in the heart vessel or in the blood vessels. And you hear about hardening of the arteries and the atherosclerosis and the plaques there. It's really the key to it that we haven't been able to check very well in the past is inflammation. And so that's really it's cutting edge technology. It's really neat. It's really neat to be a part of this, but also to be able to offer this to people, even just as a baseline. Even if they're young and healthy, it's good to find out early.
And the other thing is that you can look at somebody, they can be really fit, they can look great, and they could be a huge candidate for heart disease, right?
Yes, they can be. Yeah, when I do talk to my patients, which I talk to each one before they get their blood drawn, I like to show them my little hand diagram of, if you have your blood vessel and it's nice and flexible, even if you've got some cholesterol buildup, which happens with stress and with diet, if they're really healthy and flexible and they can move with the heartbeat, then that's a good thing. You could actually have fairly high cholesterol and be healthy in that way still. But if they're rigid and they're inflamed, even just a little bit, when the body moves and when the heart beats, it's not going to be able to accommodate for that movement. And so the vessels are rigid, and they can more likely it's going to cause that plaque to break off because they're brittle.
What are some things that are causing this inflammation, this buildup? Is it saturated fat? Is it everything? Is it genetics?
There is a genetic component, but that is not the largest component. Primarily, it is sedentary lifestyle, and it's going to be the high amount of refined foods that we eat. So it's going to be the white flour, it's going to be the sugar, it's going to be all of those yummy things that we like to eat. It's going to be a diet low in vegetables and fruits. And in whole grains and good fats, like the flaxseed and the borage and all of the good fats that we can eat. So
I didn't realize that it was just white refined things and sugar. I would think butter and all the high fat cholesterol things.
That does play some role in it, but that it tends to be a slightly older perspective. What they're finding now is that we actually can make all of our own cholesterol, but we make it out of the sugars that we eat. So when we eat fats, we can assimilate them, but we can make our own. We're an animal too. All of the cholesterol is an animal created product. So we get it from the dairy products, we get it from the meat that we eat, but we are also animals, so we make it ourselves too.
That's interesting. I never knew that. Now, have people been chicken to come up to you and be like, okay, do my test?
Yeah. Okay. We all...
I'm a big wimp. I don't love needles.
I think a lot of people have, that sort of, fear of needles, and I think it kind of comes as a surprise. They're here looking at purses and makeup, and then they're like, oh, blood draw?
Right.
So I think so.
Yeah. And let me just ask, is it a free test or is it low cost to people?
The Garda Heart is really amazing with, how it's willing to work with people. It's a nonprofit organization, so they do try to accommodate people who aren't able to get it covered by insurance.
That's great.
So it's a really great organization, that's trying to get the word out there and help people as much as possible.
Okay. So. And you can't help but smile when I say your name, Dr. Sunshine.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to be brave now. I'm going to go get my blood drawn.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
I'm going to draw my blood now. I'm a big chicken.
Okay. You're in sick now.
No, I'm serious. Get the shot of the adult version of lollipops. I love that.
Okay.
All right, now they're going to take my blood pressure.
Go ahead and sit back and relax.
Okay, I'm going to sit and relax. No, this is actually a really important thing to do. I have heart disease. I've talked about it. My dad has had so many episodes of having heart attacks and things like that. Should I be quiet while you're doing this?
No.
Okay. And he's actually had 3 episodes. He had quadruple bypass in '96, Then he had a valve replacement in 2004, but he had another heart attack then. And then recently he had another episode. Yeah. So it's something you got to pay attention to. Okay, go ahead.
Fasting today?
No, I didn't. Is that okay?
Are you a smoker?
No.
Are you diabetic?
No.
Any history of heart attack?
No.
Family history?
My dad.
I'm gonna take this off.
Okay. We have a crowd gathering. They're like, ooh, who's in there being brave?
Turn your arm around this way.
Okay. You know, it's amazing. Like, I think women tend to put things off.
Put everybody else first.
Right, right. And especially if you're chicken about things, like you're like, I don't want to do it, and all right, tell me when you're going to do it.
Okay. Sure.
No, but things like this I do tend to put off. And then something important will happen, like my dad going in the hospital just like a week ago. He was in the hospital. He was in ICU. He was out here, and then his flight was delayed.
Wanna make it this for me?
Okay. Okay, that hurt just a little.
You can open your head.
Okay. And then that night he ended up in the ICU. Yeah. And a lot of it was his diet, and he had a lot of sodium out here. He was kind of ignoring and having fun, and you really can't do that. So he ended up that night lying down, and his lungs filled up, and he couldn't breathe. So they took him, and he stayed there for almost a week. Yeah. But he's better now. He has vasculitis too. There's a lot of different variables, the diabetes, the vasculitis, and yeah. So, and then there's the old school mentality, you know, oh, a little bit of this won't hurt, a little bit of that, and you know, so. I gotta tell my husband to do this too, you know? Yeah. So it's very ironic that I connected with Garter Heart, because this becomes ridiculously close to home with what's been going on with my dad. And the more I asked him, he said, oh, his dad had some problems too, you know. That's it, I survived.
Thank you.
You're right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I get a sticker? Garter Heart, I checked my heart. How about you? Excellent. All right, thank you.